bell above the cafe door jingled, the sound so ordinary that Elena barely looked up from the espresso machine. Morning rush had just ended, leaving the little shop in a rare hush filled only with the hum of machines and the clink of mugs. She wiped her hands on her apron, moving with practiced ease among the mismatched tables and shelves stacked with pastries. This cafe was her world, built from nothing but determination and sleepless nights. It was safe, steady, hers. She thought nothing could shake it anymore, until she looked up. Her breath caught. Standing in the doorway, sunlight behind him like a spotlight, was the man she had spent years trying to forget. Adrian Cole. He hadn't changed, not really. The sharp jawline, the perfectly tailored suit, the air of power that clung to him like another layer of clothing. It was all the same. Only his eyes were different. Older, maybe. Heavier. As though time had carved regrets into him. Elena's hand slipped, and the mug she was holding shattered against the counter. The sound made her daughter peek out from the back room, curiosity lighting her big brown eyes. Before Elena could react, the little girl darted forward, her curls bouncing, flour still smudged on her cheek from helping in the kitchen. She ran straight to the stranger in the doorway. "Daddy!" The word hit like a thunderclap. The cafe fell silent. Adrian froze, his eyes snapping down to the child who clung to his leg with the kind of trust that only innocence could hold. For a moment, he looked as if the world had tilted beneath his feet, his composure stripped away in a single word. His mouth parted, but no sound came out. He was staring at her, at the little girl with wide eyes that mirrored his own. Elena's heart stopped. She rushed around the counter, scooping her daughter into her arms. "Sweetheart," she whispered urgently, her voice trembling. "Go play in the back, okay?" The child frowned. "But Daddy..." "Go," Elena said more firmly, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The girl pouted but obeyed, skipping toward the back room. When she was gone, silence stretched thick and heavy between Elena and Adrian. His gaze followed the child until the curtain swayed closed, then snapped back to Elena, sharp and demanding. "Was that mine?" His voice was low, uneven, stripped of the smooth confidence that made him famous in boardrooms. Elena's throat went dry. She swallowed hard, her hands tightening around the edge of the counter. "Her name is Lily," she said quietly. "She's 5. Adrian's jaw clenched. His hands curled into fists at his sides. 5, he repeated, his voice breaking. 5 years and you never told me?" Elena felt heat sting her eyes, but she refused to let the tears fall. "You left, Adrian. You made it very clear there was no place for me in your life. By the time I found out..." Her voice wavered. "By the time I knew you were gone." His eyes flashed with something. Anger, regret, maybe both. "Gone? I didn't disappear. I was building an empire. I thought you..." He trailed off, shaking his head. "I thought you didn't want that life. You walked away." She laughed bitterly. "I walked away because you chose the empire over me, over us. Do you know what it's like to beg someone to notice you, only to be met with phone calls and board meetings? You weren't there, Adrian. You never were." He flinched, the words striking deeper than she expected. For once, the great CEO looked small, cornered, uncertain. He turned away for a moment, raking a hand through his hair as if trying to steady himself. "I never knew," he whispered. "I never knew I had a daughter." Elena's chest ached. She wanted to believe him, but the years of raising Lily alone, of watching her daughter ask why she didn't have a daddy like the other kids, weighed too heavily. "And what difference would it have made?" she asked softly. "Would you have put down your phone? Would you have left your glass towers and endless deals? Or would she have just been another responsibility for your assistant to schedule between meetings?" Adrian turned back to her then, and there was fire in his eyes. "Don't you dare," he said, his voice raw. "Don't you dare think I wouldn't have been there for her. For you. If I had known, Elena, nothing would have kept me away." The cafe felt too small, too suffocating for the storm between them. Elena pressed a hand to her temple, her emotions warring inside her. "Well, now you know," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. The curtain behind them rustled and Lily peeked out again, rubbing her eyes. "Mama, I'm thirsty." She paused when she saw Adrian still standing there, and a smile spread across her face. "Daddy's still here." Elena's heart cracked. Adrian crouched instinctively, holding out a tentative hand. "Hi, Lily," he said softly, his voice shaking. I'm your dad." The little girl tilted her head, studying him with innocent curiosity. Then she smiled and placed her small hand in his. "I knew it," she said simply, as if she'd always known something Elena had tried to hide. Tears blurred Elena's vision. She turned away, unable to bear the sight of her daughter bonding with the man who had once shattered her. When the cafe finally closed, Lily was asleep in the back room, curled up on a makeshift bed of cushions. Adrian sat at one of the small wooden tables, his expensive suit looking out of place against the chipped paint and cozy clutter. Elena sat across from him, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea she hadn't touched. "Everything I've built," Adrian said quietly. "The company, the wealth, the name, it feels like nothing right now. All I can think about is her. The years I missed, the moments I can't get back." His voice broke. "And you? The way I lost you." Elena's hands shook. "Don't," she whispered. "Don't say that. You don't get to come back after all this time and act like it never happened. I raised her, Adrian, alone. Every scraped knee, every sleepless night, every time she asked why her daddy wasn't there, it was me." "I know," he said, his eyes filled with remorse. "And I will never forgive myself for it. But please, let me try now. Let me be her father. Let me make it right." Her chest ached with the weight of his words. She had dreamed of this moment once, back when Lily was a baby, when she thought maybe he would come back. But dreams had hardened into resentment, into walls built high around her heart. She didn't know if she could let them fall. Adrian leaned forward, his voice desperate. "I'm not asking for you to forgive me. Not yet. I'm asking for her. She deserves to know her father. She deserves to know she's loved by both of us." Elena closed her eyes, tears finally spilling over. She thought of Lily's smile when she called him Daddy, the way she had slipped her small hand into his without hesitation. Maybe, just maybe, her daughter deserved this chance. When she opened her eyes, Adrian was still watching her, his expression raw, stripped of every layer of arrogance and power. For the first time, he wasn't the CEO, the untouchable billionaire. He was just a man, broken and begging for the chance to be whole again. Elena took a shaky breath. "This isn't about us," she said finally. "It's about her. If you want to be in her life, you'll have to prove it. Not with words, not with promises, with actions, consistency, commitment every day. Do you understand?" Adrian's eyes glistened and he nodded firmly. "I understand. And I will. Whatever it takes." The silence stretched, heavy but hopeful. Elena looked toward the back room where her daughter slept, then back at the man she had once loved. The night felt thick with possibility, of pain, of healing, of a story that might be rewritten. For now, it was enough. And as she locked the cafe doors behind them, Elena couldn't shake the thought that maybe, just maybe, fate had brought Adrian back not for her, but for the little girl who had looked up, smiled, and called him Daddy.